Hi guys, how you doing? Tony Schneider here, Quit Smoking Mastery, and in this video right here, I am going to show you why smoking is nothing else but stupid. You ready? Come on, let's do this. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Okay, so why smoking is nothing else but stupid, and I'll tell you why. The first thing, I got the idea to do this video because when I see documentaries or news reports about the Amazon jungle shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, and of course, I mean, everybody knows that the lungs of this planet are all the forests around the world, and they're all getting reduced because logging and cutting down the trees for wood is at an awesome high at the moment, and it shouldn't be like that. But the Amazon jungle is the place where it's all happening, where, I mean, football fields, there's like 50, 60, 70 football fields the size of this are getting reduced every single day. And these jungles, and the Amazon jungle in particular, it's like the lungs of the earth, you know. The jungles are the lungs. They produce the oxygen, and without these we can't breathe. And it's the same without your lungs, you can't breathe. If your lungs are all messed up and destroyed, how the hell are you gonna breathe? With your feet? No. Okay, so that's why I got the idea from this video. Smoking is stupid for lots of reasons, but the main reason is because of the damage that it's doing to your lungs. And unless you've been on another planet for the past 50 years, then obviously you know, and you probably have seen pictures and on cigarette boxes of black lungs, you know, and that's not a marketing tactic. That actually is the truth. If you have seen the pictures of lungs that are in good condition and lungs that are in bad condition, it's kind of gross, these black lungs. And I've seen a commercial, well, I don't know if it's a commercial, I've seen a video somewhere where somebody with white gloves on gets hold of a lung that was of a smoker for 50 years, and they took that lung in their hands and they squeezed it on all this black tar and mucus, and it was just black. And that's what's going on inside your lungs right now. If you've been smoking for decades and decades, you're probably on the right course and possibly going to get a smoke-related disease, you know, like emphysema, also pneumonia. A lot of smokers get pneumonia, and of course, the daddy of all the smoking-related diseases, lung cancer. Actually, touching on that subject right now, 80% of deaths from lung cancer are kind of caused from COPD. Okay, touching on that subject right now, 80% of deaths that are caused from lung cancer. Touching on that subject, smoking causes more than 80% of deaths from lung cancer. There's something that is called COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD. That is something they call in the medical industry, COPD. Basically, what it is that your lungs, they're just being bombarded, and eventually that's it, they can't function. You'll probably remember this when you first started smoking, just like me and all the others, how hard it was to be comfortable because of all the coughing that we did. Every cigarette that I smoked, you know, in the beginning it was like horrible, and of course I'd be coughing my lungs up, and that's because the smoke going inside irritates this very delicate lining on the inside of the lungs, and it's not a nice thing, is it? Inside the lungs there are some very minute hair-like things. They're called cilia, C-I-L-I-A. When these little hair-like things are functioning correctly, they're moving like this, they're very graceful and everything, and the cigarette smokes just starts ruining them and starts slowing them down, and this causes that they become paralyzed. And what happens then is that they can't clean out the mucus that's forming in your lungs, and basically what you're doing, you're just strangling the cilia in your lungs. These little things are so essential to the functionality of your lungs, because while you're continuing bombarding these poor little life-giving things, they just become paralyzed. Like I said, they can't clean all the shit and all the dust and all the particles that you're breathing in. It's just a losing battle if you continue to smoke and smoke and smoke. And if that's not abuse, I don't know what is. Just imagine, if you've smoked for 20 years, those little guys, they've been choked for 20 years. I'm surprised even after 20 years, they're still there. They're just deteriorating and getting paralyzed. And they can't do what they're supposed to do, keep you alive. That's why a lot of people who have smoked for a long time, these cilia hairs, what happens is because they're so damaged and that mucus builds up and obviously your lungs are not functioning in a way where they should be cleaning out the mucus. What is happening is that's when infections start happening, and that's when you get a lot of people or smokers with a condition called chronic bronchitis. Doesn't even sound nice, does it? Chronic bronchitis. And the best thing is that you're paying your hard-earned cash for that. Isn't that just awesome? I think that deserves, a high five. Okay, look, I'm not trying to be sarcastically obnoxious here, but come on, guys. Does smoking really serve any purpose? That's my point. There's nothing really beneficial. There isn't one good point to smoking. There's not just one. There's zero. If somebody tells you that there is a benefit to smoking, it is only the tobacco company owner. Think about that. Okay, I want to go back to the subject of coughing just a little bit now. When I stopped smoking, what happened was that I think for about 2 months maximum, if I remember well, because it's like 10 years ago now, I actually started to cough more. I was coughing just a little bit harder than usual, and that was because the little cilia hairs that I was talking about inside the lungs, that move the accumulated mucus out of the lungs. So now after quitting smoking, they're getting back to working in a normal environment and cleaning up all the ugly stuff inside the lungs, because that's their job. They're like dancing, they're happy. Thank God you've stopped smoking. Oh, Jesus Christ, how long was we trying to tell you stop smoking? But yeah, that's a good cough. That type of cough I had for a couple of months. Now, you may, when you quit smoking, actually no, I know you will, you'll notice when you cough up your mucus. I do recommend, have a look at it. I know it's a little gross for some people, but look at that mucus that you're coughing up, and you may, no, you will, you'll notice, if you've been smoking a long time, that is, notice some little black blobs inside your mucus, inside that phlegm. That those little black blobs are actually the tar that's inside your lungs actually coming out. Those little guys, the cilia, are getting your house clean, getting your lungs clean, and that's great, because now you're actually starting, because you've stopped smoking, you're reducing your risk to getting lung cancer. Yes, that's another awesome high five. So let's get back to a serious note now. For example, I'm a non-smoker now for 10 years, and which, now I don't know if this is true, but of course there has to be some truth in this, that now my risk of getting lung cancer is reduced by 60 to 70%, which is a great thing, no? I mean, who wants to get lung cancer? I mean, I know people actually die from lung cancer and they haven't smoked, but it's, you know, it's very few and far between. But there's always a higher risk of getting lung cancer if you're smoking 30, 40, 50 years. You've got to wake up. Also remember that there's always risks, particular risks, even for long-time smokers that have quit smoking. The lungs of a 30 to 40 year smoker will have deteriorated somewhat, and of course some of that damage is unfortunately irreversible. That's what smoking does. Sad but true. There comes a point where the lungs, that's it. They're waving that white flag. They just can't deal with it anymore. And this is when other diseases start setting in. Remember, the body is an amazing machine, and it's like an ecosystem, and it's always trying to get a balance and stay clean and stay pure and stay strong. And of course, the body will defend itself when it needs to, but you can't defend yourself if you don't have the tools. Do you understand what I mean? If you do martial arts, I've done martial arts, you can defend yourself to a certain point, but then again, if your aggressor has more weapons than you, or is stronger than you, or is a strong opponent, and if you don't have the tools or the knowledge in martial arts to defend yourself, then you are going to be a victim. And it's the same with your body. Because of that constant bombardment, will eventually succumb to the damage. Sad but true. When this point comes, the exchange of life-giving oxygen becomes a hard task. When I say the exchange, I mean the process of oxygen. It becomes a hard task for the lungs to process. Inside the lungs, there's these bunch of great looking type things called the alveoli. Not ravioli, the alveoli. Ravioli! The alveoli. They look like a bunch of grapes, little balls together. You may have seen them. I'll put a picture right here now. That's the alveoli. They process oxygen and carbon dioxide, and of course they're your trees in your own Amazon jungle. And if they're damaged, and if they're beyond repair, that's it. More or less, it's game over. If they're getting destroyed, that's it. That's your Amazon jungle. If your Amazon jungle goes, if those trees get damaged beyond repair, that's it. Game over. I'll say it again. That's it. Game over. Once it's game over, that's when they all start setting the lung cancer, emphysema. This is normally when emphysema starts. Emphysema is the sign that things are just really bad. A lot of older people who have smoked for 40, 50, 60 years. Okay, it's a long time, but they're not going out gracefully. No, they are suffering. Emphysema is a horrible, horrible disease. It's a condition that you just don't want. It's a condition that you don't want. But remember, all hope is not lost, because once you quit smoking, that's the best thing that you can do. Once you quit, your body starts going into a process of recuperation, yes, and things start getting back to normal. The lungs, your jungle, your trees in the jungle start blossoming, and of course the cleaning process starts happening, and everything just starts becoming so much better. I've said this before a million times. The benefits outweigh the benefits of smoking. The benefits of not smoking just outweigh so much the benefits of smoking, which there aren't any. Of course, there's only doom and gloom when you smoke. So that's it, like I said. So remember, stopping smoking is the best thing that you can do. And as you know, it's never too late to stop smoking, okay? Just remember, that next cigarette that you smoke, is that the one? Is that the one that starts it? Is that the one? Remember, smart decisions will extend your life. Be smart. Think smart, decide smart. Okay, my name's Tony Schneider. I hope you liked the video. Please make a comment, like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you in another video very, very soon. Thanks for watching, and remember, don't smoke. Let's get out of here. Come on.